49ers Training Camp 2024. Key takeaways, roster depth concerns, star core update. Imagine stepping into the 49ers training camp this year and finding a team that looks vastly different from the powerhouse that dominated the NFC title games for 5 consecutive years. The changes are palpable and there's a lot to unpack. Let's dive in. The 49ers are facing a significant challenge with their dead cap figure for 2025, which is nearing the $100 million mark. This financial burden was somewhat inevitable, and now it's affecting the team's depth. During training camp, the Niners have had to deal with the usual summer injuries, and it's been noticeable. Key players like Ricky Pearsall, Juwan Jennings, and Jacob Cowing have been sidelined, and even Brandon Ayuk won't be back until mid-season. This means that Brock Purdy and the starters have had to work with receivers who might not even be in the league by the end of the year. It's a tough situation, but it's not insurmountable. The Niners will need a combination of good fortune with injuries and significant player development to reach their goals. But here's where it gets controversial. Some might argue that the team should have managed their cap space more carefully to avoid this depth issue. What do you think? On the brighter side, the core group of the 49ers, though aging, has shown up in excellent shape. Christian McCaffrey, who dealt with Achilles tendonitis and a PCL injury last year, has looked fresh and ready this spring. George Kittle is as explosive as ever, and Trent Williams has returned to camp in better shape than he has in years. Add to that the consistent performances of Fred Warner and Nick Bosa, and you have a core that should be more than capable of competing. And this is the part most people miss. The importance of a strong core in a team's success. It's not just about the individual stars, it's about how they work together. Robert Saleh, the new old defensive coordinator, is arguably the biggest off-season acquisition for the 49ers. The reason? The Niners will be relying heavily on young players on defense, and their development will be crucial. The defensive line, especially around Nick Bosa, is a key area to watch. First-round DE Mykel Williams, second-round DT Alfred Collins, and fourth-round DT CJ West are likely to see significant playing time. Williams, in particular, is expected to play inside on passing downs, similar to Arik Armstead. Bryce Huff, who fits well into Saleh's scheme, has had a strong camp and could play the edge opposite Bosa. Meanwhile, third-rounder Nick Martin has impressed and could figure into the linebacker rotation with Warner and D. Winters. Another third-rounder, Upton Stout, has been a standout in camp and could be the starting nickel. So, we have a baseline of 6 rookies that Saleh and his staff need to prepare for significant roles. Depth is also a concern on the offensive side, making the development of young players even more critical. 2 players in particular have stepped up and look ready to contribute. Jacob Cowing, a second-year slot receiver, has shown real speed and has brought a spark to the offense in practice despite being banged up early in camp. The other is rookie back Jordan James, a 5th-rounder out of Oregon who lasted longer into day 3 of the draft than anticipated. With Jordan Mason off to Minnesota, the Niners are looking for someone to provide insurance for and spell Christian McCaffrey. James isn't big, but he's a fast, compact, and violent runner who looks ready to play a role in the offense. Of course, a lot of this comes back to Brock Purdy, the Niners' $265 million man. When you give a quarterback a deal like that, there's a lot riding on his shoulders. Purdy understands this and has shown a level-headed approach. Last year, he tried to do too much to compensate for the injuries around him, and his coaches had to show him the footage to illustrate it. This experience will be crucial as he faces similar challenges this year and beyond. But there's no question. His importance to the team is heightened with all the transition going on. And this is where the controversy lies. Some might argue that the team should have spread the financial burden more evenly across the roster to avoid relying so heavily on one player. What are your thoughts? More NFL on Sports Illustrated. 49ers Training Camp Days 6-7 Recap. Roster moves, deep ball highlights, LB standouts. Excitement is in the air as the San Francisco 49ers make significant strides during their training camp. After a much-needed day off, the team hit the practice field again on Thursday, marking the beginning of the second week of their training camp, with an open practice on Day 7. This pause followed a fiercely competitive practice on Tuesday, Day 6, and came amid a whirlwind, 72-hour period that included multiple roster changes, updates on player injuries, and an ongoing assessment of pivotal position battles. On Tuesday, the 49ers added defensive lineman Jalen Allen to their roster by signing him to a one-year contract. Unfortunately, this move necessitated placing defensive lineman Taron Jackson on the injured reserve list to accommodate Allen's addition. Thursday didn't hold back on roster activity either. The team welcomed several new players, including running back Amir Abdullah, quarterback Carter Bradley, and wide receivers Marquez Callaway and Andy Isabella. In this shuffle, the team also made the tough decision to release wide receiver Equanimeous St. Brown and waived offensive lineman Sebastian Gutierrez, as well as wide receiver Malik Knowles and safety Jalen Mahoney. Key observations from days 6-7. As fans of the 49ers know, every training camp is crucial for evaluating talent and shaping the team's future, and these recent developments certainly keep everyone on their toes. The ongoing adjustments in the roster signal the team's commitment to building a robust lineup that can compete at a high level. What's coming up next? Looking ahead, the 49ers are set to hold 2 more training sessions this weekend, on Friday and Saturday, which will conclude this block of their training camp. However, it's important to note that these practices will be closed to fans due to a concert event featuring Morgan Wallen scheduled at Levi's Stadium. After this busy weekend, the team will enjoy another day off on Sunday before gearing up for joint practices with the Denver Broncos in the upcoming week. This exciting build-up will lead right into their first preseason game against Denver, offering fans a glimpse of what's to come this season. But here's where it gets controversial. How do these roster changes reflect the team's overall strategy? Are they building for immediate success or planning for the long-term future? What are your thoughts? Do you agree with the moves made so far, or do you feel there are better options available? Share your perspectives in the comments. 49ers Training Camp Day 8 Breakdown. Injuries, standout performers, key takeaways. Controversial battles, breakthroughs. Inside the 49ers intense practice number 8. Friday's nearly 2-hour training camp session for the San Francisco 49ers wasn't just about physical endurance. It delivered some jaw-dropping matchups, injury updates, and position battles that have fans debated overtime. Let's dive into the highlights. The hook. Even the NFL's elite have off days. Or do they? Brock Purdy and George Kittle are already in mid-season form, but Nick Bosa's dominance left everyone wondering, can anyone stop this force? Key players missing in action. Who's out why? Rest days. Veterans Nick Bosa, Kyle Juszczyk, Christian McCaffrey, and Trent Williams returned refreshed from scheduled breaks. Injuries nutrition. Quote, W.R. Jacob Cowing, a dagger for the receiving corp. C.B. Renardo Green, hamstring, battling for that crucial third corner spot. Jawan Jennings, calf, missing reps in a WR logjam. Jordan Watkins, absence amplifies WR competition. PUP, NFI, IR. Players hitting the injured lists. PUP, Brandon Ayuk, ACL, MCL. Andre Dillard, ankle. Yetur Gross-Matos, knee. Malik Mustafa, ACL. NFI, Curtis Rourke, ACL. Remember that ACL injury? This is critical for QB depth. IR, Taron Jackson, neck. Trent Taylor, back. Trent Tomlinson, undisclosed. LB Curtis Robinson was activated from PUP, ACL, though we'll need to watch his next moves closely. What happened today? CLI, Austin Pleasance left early, injury details TBD. Isaac Alarcon stepped in. Keep an eye on this offensive line depth. Whoopee, the big matchups, performance breakdowns, controversies, OLDL showdowns. RT Colton McKivitz turned heads by legitimately blocking Nick Bosa in one-on-one drills, a rare feat that has analysts buzzing. Reporter Noah Furtado called it the most impressive O-line versus D-line battle of the day, praising McKivitz's footwork and base. But Bosa didn't back down. In team drills, he recorded 5 would-be sacks, including 3 on a single drive. The pressure piled up despite missing some earlier reps. Controversy hook. Can any RT challenger actually stop Bosa long-term? Cornerback competition heating up. Without Diamador Lenore and Renardo Green, Dallas Flowers and Trey Brown secured first-team reps. Darrell Luter Jr. rotated in, and Upton Stout kept the nickel role. Saleh's admission. The third corner spot is wide open. Not the nickel. Someone's got to step up now. Our take. This could be Flowers' time to shine, but doubt exists if Green or Lenore return strong. Safety shakeup. With Jair Brown resting, Richie Grant and Jason Pinnock locked into first-unit safety. Think, 2 are up, but does one truly stand out? DTs, rookies rising, veterans struggling. CJ West won all 4 one-on-one reps and pressured in team drills. Saleh praised progress but noted technical work needed. NFL for a while potential here. Alfred Collins, behind the 8 ball due to OTA absences. Rust is evident, but his physical traits, size, footwork, are unhouse unbeatable. WR Ricky Pearsall's comeback, caught 3 of 4 targets, his busiest day yet. Let's see, without Jalen Jennings, Jordan Watkins, or Jacob Cowing, he might finally carve a role. RB2 battle. Rumors Isaac Guerendo's decisiveness has coaches impressed. ESPN's Nick Wagoner calls him the clear RB2. But how does Amir Abdullah fit? The Fire OL versus DL deep dives. Nickel Zach Banks versus Nick Zakelj at LG. Zakelj even took center snaps for third team. Wait, positional flexibility matters here. The Fire QB updates. Broad Curdy delivered a masterclass. TD to Kittle in red zone drills. Significant gain to FB Kyle Juszczyk. 1 interception to Jason Pinnock offset by sharp passes. New signing Carter Bradley mixed with Tanner Mordecai on third team. TE Jake Tonjes dropped a target from Bradley. Depth chart implications. Next up, Saturday's 10:25 a.m. PT practice. Fan-free sessions continue due to Morgan Wallen's Levi's Stadium concert. Stay tuned for schematics. The Fire social media frenzy. Hot takes from beat reporters. 1. Noah Furtado. Bosa versus McKivitz is the definition of iron sharpening iron, uncommon for Colton to hold his ground. 2. Matt Barrows. Usually you watch a Tim CG rehearsal, then you read Ricky Pearsall going full throttle. No Jay Jennings Watkins Cowing alters that dynamic. 3. David Lombardi. Brock to Kittle is deja vu good. Only blemish, the early INT to Pinnock. 4. Cam Inman. Full pads, no fans, pure football. Watch Des McMem, who up. Position battles to monitor. Your call. Who emerges? 1. Cornerback third spot. Flowers versus Green, when healthy, versus Luter. The answer must emerge fast, with injuries piling. Left guard. Banks versus Zakelj. Watch for center versatility impacting the decision. 3. RB2. Guerendo's improvement versus Abdullah's receiving special team chops. 4. QB3. Bradley versus Mordecai. Let's see consistency. Final thought. Even without fans, the drama's palpable. Where do you think these battles will settle? Drop your predictions below. Related content, previous practices, July 25th. Focus on WR returns 49erswebzone.com. 192643. The 49ers. Armin, pup list now looks thinner, but at what cost? With key receivers sidelined, does the depth chart need urgent adjustment? Comment below.